Uh, Anastasia writes, are you ever unsure about a song when you first write it, such as the lyrics or music or both? Love you. I love you too. Um, all the time. Yeah. Um, but before long, I'm pretty sure what's what. When I wrote Love on the Weekend, I wrote it really fast. And I went, it's like the same thing that happened with Gravity. You go, all right, that's an okay one. That's like a B-lister. And then you wake up the next day and you go, oh, that's something. Let's finish this up today. And each time you sort of move through it and put a lyric in and sing it again, it sort of grows and grows and grows. So I can be wrong about that when I first discover a song, but I'm going to sort of break away from that thinking here and admit that I usually know best. That if a song isn't compelling enough for me to finish it, it's not good enough. And that pisses people off sometimes who are around the studio and around the songwriting process and go like, whatever happened? Finish that song. And I go, I lost it. If I peter out 85% of the way through writing a song, then I am sort of my own focus group for that song, and I realize the song isn't good enough to finish getting written. So it annoys a lot of people, but I'm usually right. I don't think I've ever finished a song under duress and everybody went, we love that one. That's our favorite song. And I went, really? Because I'm sort of listener number one. So if I don't love the song enough to stay inspired before I'm finished writing it, I pretty much know that it's not all the way there. It doesn't mean it's not cool, but if you're only putting out 12 songs every couple of years, everyone's got to be in some way or another sort of it has to sort of state a good reason for itself all the time. So thank you. David writes, how does it feel to know that you have inspired so many people to pick up a guitar? And what advice do you have for guitarists who are trying to take their playing up a notch? It feels great to know that I've inspired some people. I get the most flattered and moved, I would say, when I look at Instagram hashtags. The only searching of myself I do online is Instagram hashtags, because I feel like that's a kinder, gentler internet. And I got to tell you, to see so many people, even just in the thumbnail pictures with guitars in their hands, and they're in their bedroom. And the greatest thing is that there are girls playing guitar. There's as many girls playing guitar now as there are guys playing guitar, at least in the sort of metric of the Instagram hashtag search. And that is so, I can't tell you how happy it makes me. And I think it's just a function of doing your thing for long enough that you just reach another generation. And I'm much more interested in reaching the next generation than I am reaching my peers. It's its own sort of challenge, you know. But to be there for someone when they first, so like I said, come online and start to love music and they find you, that's incredible. And the advice I have for guitarists who are trying to take their playing up a notch is obsess yourself. There is no such thing as an unhealthy obsession if it's with your art. It's impossible. It is impossible to be too obsessed if it's with your art. And I do it all the time. I induce my own obsession with something, and you just have to take deep, deep, deep dives, sometimes not even with a guitar in your hand. Sometimes don't even do it with the intent to play that night or to get a 1-to-1 ratio of like that day listen to something, that day play something. To me, getting into the Grateful Dead, which precedes Dead and Company by a few years, that was an obsession. You know, it still is an obsession in a certain regard. Because and so you have to open up a certain part of your brain, obsess yourself, feed yourself. You know, I don't know. Sometimes the advice is like, oh, don't go too far into any one thing. I'm telling you, they're wrong. Go too far. Go too far. Go crazy because of it. And those are the people who make it. Those are the people who absolutely come out the other side as artists. And I still do it. I still try to tap a vein, you know, and find a new, fresh pathway in my brain to obsess myself with something. And I do it all the time. I have little micro obsessions. One day it's just like, this is Eddie Van Halen day. Be like, all I'm doing is looking up For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour stuff from 90 and 91. And then one day it'll be like all Clapton Journeyman stuff. All I'm interested in is Clapton's tone on the Journeyman tour. And every day it feels as passionate as the next. So that would be my advice. So go crazy, but for your art. Thank you. Terrence Reeves writes, why is your Snapchat handle @JohnTheKangaroo? Good question, and a reasonable question, because it's an unreasonable Snapchat name. I was working in the studio with somebody, I won't name drop, and they had guitar picks that said John the Kangaroo. And I said, why does it say John the Kangaroo? And they said, well, because there's this lyric in, I think it's Manish Boy, that Muddy Waters says, I got a John the Kangaroo. And he says, I got a John the Conqueror route, but it sounds like I got a John the Kangaroo. And I thought it was a great misheard lyric, and I thought John the Kangaroo is such a pleasant visual, and I'm also 6'3", so I thought, no, kind of sweet, John the Kangaroo. And also, when you sign up on Snapchat, you don't really get your, you have to, it's almost like Prodigy was. You have to pick some weird long handle, and I thought John the Kangaroo, no one's taken that. So it's from a misheard Muddy Waters lyric. And the final question comes from Jennifer. Is there a new tour in the works with this new album? Yes. There will be a tour all next year, starting in the spring. And I don't want to give too much away, but I will say everything you wish would happen next year is going to happen next year. If you wrote down what you most wish you could see at a concert, that's going to happen. So I'm very excited. I'm really excited to be back in the sort of scene. I think it's been a while since I've been in the mainstream, and I've been having a real blast discovering some of the other pastures that lie outside of the fence, and I got a lot out of it. I can't wait to play. I started making the master list for what we'd play on tour. And there's a lot of songs that come off of Born and Raised in Paradise Valley. I love that you guys have let me follow my passion and follow the arc. The arc of an artist can be frustrating. It can seem like you're being abandoned. And I hope that with this record, it will all make sense, that you have to take trips. You have to stay fresh. You have to evolve. And I'm so excited to be the age I am. We'll put the age on the bottom of the screen. I don't want to stop. 39 years old. Who cares? And I'm very excited to be at a place in my life where I'm sort of mature and strong enough to support playing music, going out doing what I'm best at, what I love the most, and not sort of blowing in the wind with it, and just coming back, putting out what I think is a really accessible record that has everything that people have liked in the past, and some things that even I went, well, I didn't know I had that in me. And I just can't thank you enough for supporting me wherever I've gone. And I think that you're going to really like this record. It begins with this song, Love on the Weekend, which I have to remind you is one song off of a record, and no one song can do it all. This is a taste of the record. I think it's a very cool vibe. And I can't wait to share it with you, which I'm going to stop talking in about 30 seconds and share it with you. This is a video in the sense that it lives on a YouTube. Your grandma here. And this is not really a video, but it's more a way to get the audio to you via YouTube. And if you like it, take it with you. I think this is a record you can bring with you. I think this is a single you can bring with you. So enjoy it. I think the world of you. You look great. And have a great weekend. Let me know how it works this weekend. Take it with you. Put it in the car. See if it works at night. Focus group it for me. I think it works. I've had so much fun listening to this. I am now sending it off. I have had so much fun dancing to it in my kitchen, and it's yours now. I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching. This is Love on the Weekend, off the record, The Search for Everything, which comes very soon, I promise. Check it out. Saved it.